Implicit bias basically means that we have a tendency to quickly, in a split second, associate a group with a certain type of behavior. And we may be unaware that we do that, and so the more aware, the more cognizant we become of our implicit biases, the more likely we are to not make those generalizations and draw those unfair conclusions about individuals that we're working with. What I have done essentially is I've taken that work from Harvard University on implicit bias and I have coupled it with critical race theory, feminist theory, to come up with a way to describe how it functions in the 21st century. The fact that we have this notion of colorblindness, which basically says that we shouldn't talk about race, we shouldn't think about race, race doesn't matter. So what that does essentially is it suppresses the public discourse on race and it makes it difficult for us to talk about it at all. So most of us are under the impression that we shouldn't talk about it and that it's more polite not to talk about race. But that doesn't mean that we don't have feelings about race. So by not talking about it, we don't even get to test out our feelings, or we don't even get to, we don't even have to confront our feelings about it. So I'm very honored to have been chosen for the Livingston Award because it gives me an opportunity to share with my colleagues and the students at Sacramento State University and the community the work that I do and the work that I think is very, very important. I think race is still one of the hardest conversations that we can have in our society. And so I think that hopefully I can share with my colleagues and even with students that the importance of having this conversation and the fact that just by talking about race doesn't make us racist. As a matter of fact, I like to tell my students that having conversations about race, being able to talk about it intelligently and comfortably means that we're going to become the best leaders in the 21st century and beyond.